that. I would turn into a convertible.
Chill stream? Iceberg? Anyways. Also
From
check
Avatar,
this out.
the movie, supposedly
Also,
causing people
I just
to become
started my first
and other
Persona game. Persona 3.
Oh my god, you're gonna have a bad time. Elder Scrolls Skyrim fan project. I'm gonna skip this watch because I don't even like Elder Scrolls. What is this? Sky Oblivion? Official release year announcement trailer a month ago? It's a fan project? I don't even like Skyrim. I just started my first Persona game, Persona 3. I hated every second of it. What is this thing that you sent me? The Darkest Conspiracy Theories Iceberg Explained 2.
dark things tied to the film's conception, certain celebrities that are believed to be replaced by clones, to claims that the human
clones? 8 times speed? Let's watch a little bit of it.
species started as extraterrestrial
Skyrim mods are a rabbit hole you can never understand.
Hello everyone,
sex go hard.
Today we discuss some interesting theories. Some are creepy and strange, while others are more thought-provoking. Hopefully you guys are all having a great day so far. It's been going downhill. Hopefully this half hour show is able to distract you. If you enjoy long-form content like this, consider subscribing to the channel, as this is part of a series that will continue. I love making these, so if you want to stick around. Also, I have an Instagram and Twitter if you would like to follow. I want to have this as a backup in case these videos are ever taken down. It doesn't hurt. Anyways, let's get into this iceberg. Dinosaurs never existed. This theory explains itself in the title. Yeah,
true! Oh no, come on, Tainted. You're starting something else, bro. You're about to start another war with the chat. I'm about to start saying a bunch of shit. Hot take, bro. Yo, you know what they did, bro? The scientists placed random rocks that with weird shapes and say they're dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs are real, or I guess were real because, you know, they got wiped out about 65 million years ago. These deniers believe that all fossils you see at museums are fake and arranged in a way to create a scary creature that never actually existed, and that the remains are from other animals, not mythical dinosaurs. They propose that dinosaurs were merely a hypothesis of many that were blown out of proportion, and some even believe that they were made up before their fossils were ever found, though this shouldn't be confused with certain discoveries and advancements made in paleontology that have led to changes of what we believe dinosaurs actually looked like. For example, the bones found during the Bone Wars, a time in American history's Gilded Age that was marked by intensive and brutally competitive fossil hunting and discovery. Some of those bones found were left unchecked for authenticity, leading some to question if any dinosaurs were real, or were simply conjured up to increase the profit and status of paleontologists as well as museums. For example, the Apatosaurus and Brontosaurus skulls were mixed up and later corrected, one having a big dome and the other not. For a while, Brontosaurus were doubted by the scientific community, but they are now classified as dinosaurs once again, after further research was done. There's also the fact that most dinosaurs didn't even have scales, but most likely have feathers, like modern-day birds, but this of course doesn't necessarily mean dinosaurs didn't exist at all. Sony timer.
Oh, with the baby? This commercial was creepy.
A common urban myth holds that Sony electronic products had timers that, when they reached a certain deadline, would force the equipment to
Remember
stop
when
working
this
and require
used
the
to
owner
be a Crisis Core stream? Pepperidge Farm remembers smile.
Remember when this used to be a Crisis Core stream? Yo, true, because I had to eat and then we segued into just chatting and y'all kept sending me good stuff. Damn. Sag.
to purchase a replacement. The legend first circulated in Japan in the 1980s, then it spread to other nations, also known as planned obsolescence.
Thank you,
the concept
Nuka.
that items are meant to break down after a certain amount of time. Basically, it's all planned out, which numerous companies like Apple have been accused of and exposed for legitimately doing, even having to pay out to its customers. Expanding Earth. Theorized the first by Charles Darwin, apparently, the expanding Earth theory contends that the position and relative movements of continents is caused at least in part by Earth's volume increasing, expanding to create more surface area. Pangea, the supercontinent, instead of drifting apart, as scientifically accepted since the discovery of plate tectonics, they were all separated due to Earth's expansion, moving the continents along the process. The theory of quote-unquote thermal cycles developed by Irish physicist John Joly is a compromise.
The Earth is getting bigger? Huh?
Between Earth expansion and Earth contraction theorists. He assumed that the heat flow from radioactive decay inside Earth exceeds the cooling of Earth's surface. Joly and British geologist Arthur Holmes believed that Earth loses heat during cyclic periods of expansion. According to their theory, expansion generated cracks and joints in the Earth's interior that could fill with magma. This would follow by a cooling phase in which the magma froze and solidified. This process caused the Earth to shrink and get bigger. Avatar depression. This is a term described as the feeling when you watch James Cameron's Avatar and feel sad afterward because, you know, real life isn't as colorful and exciting as the movie is. Yes, this is real. Some people claim that Avatar gave them depression.
What? Post-Avatar depression syndrome? What the fuck, bro? People getting depressed after watching Avatar?
Others said that while watching the movie, they felt nauseous and began having headaches as well. I did recently watch the new sequel and rewatch the original, and I kind of get it. Pandora does seem pretty chill, but does it give me depression after watching the movie? No, it did not. But it did put me to sleep in theaters for the first time, but that's besides the point. Now, is there something darker to this film causing this? Well, some people blame Avatar for having hidden occult messages and for trying to push a new age agenda, claiming that the blue people are demonic entities, even referring to the original definition
I
of
will
Avatar.
turn into a convertible.
Iceberg? Chill stream? How about this iceberg instead?
Bro, I'm literally watching one of your icebergs, and you send me another iceberg? No. No, Tainted, no. No. Oh, I remember the darkest TikTok. Bro, I'm gonna watch this one.
That in Sanskrit literally means descent. It signifies the material appearance or incarnation of a powerful deity, goddess, or a spirit on earth. These are not my opinions, by the way. I respect Hinduism and other religions. There's also a documentary that a lot of people reference titled Revival of Evil, containing a scene where an artist who was mad at God asked Satan to reveal himself because he wanted to paint him. So he shut off all the lights and began painting, claiming that something else was controlling his body. The painting ended up looking like the Navi people from the film. Did any of
No
you guys experience
way!
depression syndrome? Juice ball. According to the juice ball conspiracy, Major League Baseball has intentionally changed the baseballs it uses to boost the scoring. The notion first gained traction in the 1990s and early 2000s, but it lost traction once it became evident that a spike in steroid use, which was detailed in an initial report in 2007, was a more likely explanation for the rise in scoring during that time. The juice ball notion gained popularity again in the late 2010s as a result of an apparent increase in offensive production, particularly home runs. Now to a word from our sponsor, Raycon. For my favorite music podcasts, they help me relax after a long day, even inspire me to run longer on the treadmill when I'm working out, and Raycon offers great comfortable earbuds to help me listen to them. Raycon has what you need, whether you're looking for a set of everyday earbuds, low latency gaming headphones, or a speaker that can play all night while you contemplate your existence. Not only that, compared to other premium audio companies, Raycons have lower starting prices. You don't have to break the bank to get what you want. My favorite feature is the design.
You said, Retro, go back to the tab. What happened? Our Raycon's good. I have no
Unlike
clue.
other earbuds on the market that irritate you. Ready to buy something small with a big impact? Click the link in the description box or go to buyraycon.com/Book of Alice to get 15% off your next Raycon purchase. So go check it out. It really helps support the channel. And thanks to Raycon for sponsoring this video. Operation Hydrant proves a theory's right. I'm trying to stay low on the radar to keep the channel safe, so bear with me while I use slang/safe YouTube words like essay or young people. Now, Operation Hydrant was a British police investigation into allegations of young people/kids being essayed. By December 2015, Operation Hydrant had 2,228 suspects under investigation, 302 of whom were of public prominence, including 99 politicians and 147 celebrities from the media. Now you may ask, how come I have never heard of this? Well, tons of suspects had already passed away due to the crimes discovered mainly occurring in the late 1970s. By middle-aged men, Chief Constable Simon Bailey said, "We are now having to come to terms as a society, and we are going to have to recognize and accept that during the 1970s and 1980s in particular, there was widespread essay of young people taking place." Also stating, these allegations in the vast majority of cases were never reported to authorities. Some victims did not think they were going to be believed. There was one constant factor. There was an abuse of power to satisfy their sick desires. We do not understand the true scale of it.
You know what? I believe that shit too.
To come forward.
Because back in the day, it was a different time, and it was way more fucked up.
Also explain all the accusations that were recently levied against the famous, powerful people covering up their crimes and the justice system refusing to look, or has society as a whole become more keen on stopping it?
I can tell you that the #1 problem in Hollywood was
Oh god, you guys want me to slow it down? Are y'all heads about to explode? All right, I'll put it slower.
and is and always will be pedophilia. That's the biggest problem for children in this industry.
The casting couch even applies to children.
Oh yeah, it's all done under the radar.
Nobody talks about pedophilia.
It's the big secret.
And
Yikes.
it's widespread.
Oh yeah. I was surrounded by them when I was 14 years old. It wasn't until I was old enough to realize what they were and what they wanted and what they were about and the types of people that were surrounding me until I went, oh my God, they were everywhere like vultures.
You said go back to the tab? We're already almost halfway through the video. All right, I'm gonna give it one more minute.
Who Feldman says abused him and his best friend, the late child actor Corey Haim.
The Twitter files. This entry is in reference to the recent discovery of internal company documents at Twitter, which exposes the control that the United States federal government and other influential powers had over the social media company, controlling how information was handled and distributed. Going through the files, Twitter was exposed for deliberately shadow banning accounts and then lying about it. They were even forced to deplatform certain accounts at the request of government officials, and if they didn't, they were met with angry phone calls from the White House. Yeah, even federal law enforcement agencies manhandled Twitter to their liking, suppressing certain news and trending topics. Elon Musk even stated that almost all the conspiracy theories regarding Twitter were true. Though it may not seem like a big deal, it may be, as this seems to confirm some sort of government control of speech on a...
I mean, in a sense, it's true that everything is controlled by, you know, the government. And then they want to show you what they want to show you. And if they want to hide something, they'll hide that. Damn. All right, chat. We're going to go back into tabs because I know you guys are like, go back to the tabs. Zahandu.
You got to actually watch JoJo now since you enjoying this meme.
The Disney Channel Iceberg. Yo, I want to watch an Iceberg. The Cartoon Network Iceberg. The Splatoon Iceberg.
I said JK.
Oh, you said JK?
Here many chatters approved of this one.
This video is brought to you by Hunt a Killer. If you're a fan of mysteries and want to test your own puzzle solving skills, then Hunt a Killer is the product for you. Hunt a Killer is one of the fastest growing subscription boxes that So lately, these iceberg images have become a trend online. They're usually made for conspiracy theories, with the tip of the iceberg containing some of the most well-known conspiracies. But the deeper you go down, the stranger and darker it gets. People have taken this format and applied it to all sorts of properties: Pokemon, Zelda, and most famously, Super Mario 64. Today, I'd like to take you through the Lost Media Iceberg. A few notes before we get started. Yes, as you may have noticed, it's in Spanish. That's because this was made by Shiki, creator of the Lost Media Wiki in Espanol. So shoutouts to him and Dysphoria for letting me use this image. Second, the Lost Media scene is just different in Latin America than here. I'll be excluding some of the Spanish-specific pieces of Lost Media and include some different ones to fill the void. Anyways, let's dive in. This is the Lost Media.
Oh my god, you guys are sending me too much shit! Y'all sending me too much shit! What the hell?
Wario Land 4 is widely considered as one of the best platformers on the Game Boy.
Oh, of course, 100%. That's why this game needs to come to the shit. Like on the Switch, we need it.
Advance. Thanks to its fast-paced gameplay, clever level design and downright bizarre graphics, the game has cultivated a loyal fanbase. And yet, Nintendo has not made a proper Wario Land sequel since 2008's The Shake Dimension on Wii. Indie developer Tour de Pizza decided to pick up the slack with Pizza Tower, a game that not only matches Wario Land 4, but surpasses it in every way.
The previous
Bro, this shit making me want to play Pizza Tower. Whoever approved this, you can smash the previous bit donor's girl. Dang, you crazy. You're crazy. How much is Pizza Tower? How much does the game cost?
Say the word and I'll buy you Pizza Tower right this second.
Cost 20 bucks? 1 million. How long is the game?
I would turn into a convertible. Let's go.
Okay. What the fuck? Is that another iceberg, bro? Tainted. You can finish it in 1 stream or 2. Kill Tainted. Wait. Wait, no more links. No more links. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is cabbages? Well, Tainted has gone off the deep end. Thank you, Tainted, for the donation.
The first thing you'll probably notice when booting up the game is the frankly insane art style.
Oh no, this is like a whole spoiler alert to the game. I can't watch this. I gotta play Pizza Tower. I gotta play the Pizza Tower.
The Iceberg. How many do you know? SpongeBob SquarePants' deleted scenes. With an over 20-year run, SpongeBob has amassed a stockpile of deleted scenes.
I remember this scene when he burned himself in the store. They skipped this scene in the thing.
On the cutting room floor. The reasons for their deletion can range from simple writing concerns to more scandalous issues, like when a recent episode cut a scene referencing Squidward's suicide from rebroadcasts. Of the scenes that have yet to resurface include the appearance of Mrs. Puff's dad, which Tom Kenny is credited for voicing, despite the character never appearing in the series. Clockman. I made a video about this, which I'm pretty sure most of you have seen thanks to YouTube's recommendations. But in short, in 2012, a user named Commander Santa recollected a short he remembered watching as a child. He described it as being about a young boy who gets snatched by the titular Clockman. The mystery surrounding this description was enough to incite a 5-year-long search for the described short, spanning across multiple forums and websites. After much deliberation, the short was eventually found in 2017. As it turns out, the film had just been uploaded in high quality by its current rights owners, AAA Studios. After being sent the video, Commander Santa confirmed that it was the same short he saw on that fateful day, putting the search to rest. A Day with SpongeBob SquarePants. I also made a video about this, so go check that out. But in short, A Day with SpongeBob SquarePants is a mockumentary said to have been made by Regal Films without the permission of Nickelodeon. After discovering Amazon listings for the film and finding the concept laughable, users on 4chan began attempting to purchase copies of the film to no success. After months of contacting everyone they could find related to the production company, they eventually made contact with the film's supposed creator, who claimed that it had never been made. The film was supposedly written but never completed. He claimed that they would crowdfund the rest of the film that following year, but this never happened. And it's unknown if he's telling the truth. Doraemon 73. Doraemon is an iconic character in Japanese pop culture, largely due to the television adaptation produced in 1979. However, what many people don't realize is that this wasn't the character's animated debut. 6 years prior, a company named NTV Video made the initial attempt to serialize the character. In spite of relatively good ratings, the show was abruptly cancelled due to the studio going bankrupt. Consequently, many of the staff didn't get paid for their work, and the original reels were either sold or destroyed in dissolution. Urban legend says that due to the IP owners disapproving of the series, all of the episodes were destroyed in a cremation fire. This isn't true, however, as the show is said to be preserved in private archives. Due to legal complications regarding the show's rights, few materials have surfaced online. Cry Baby Lane. Cry Baby Lane is a made-for-television film that premiered on Nickelodeon in the year 2000. The film never aired outside of the US, and for the longest time had never been rebroadcast after its premiere. Consequently, the film was largely forgotten. Until 2011, when a Reddit thread recollecting the film began garnering attention. Here, it was speculated that the film had never re-aired due to some unforeseen controversy, such as parents complaining to the network that it was too scary.
Really?
Because the speculated backstory fell in line with many lost episode creepypasta tropes, many were skeptical of the film's existence. That is, until a copy of the film was discovered a few days later and released online. This prompted Teen Nick to re-air the film that Halloween, and revealed that the film hadn't been banned, but instead simply forgotten. Rude Removal. Rude Removal is the title of an unaired episode from the Cartoon Network show Dexter's Laboratory, in which Dexter and his sister Dee Dee are accidentally split into pairs, reflecting the polite and rude portions of their personality.
I remember, and then Dexter says some bad words. I think he cursed in this episode.
Intended to air in 1997 during the show's second season, it was rejected due to the episode's excessive profanity. The episode remained an elusive rumor as a result, until its existence was publicized by Rebel Taxi in a short segment advocating for fans to campaign for its release. A few months later, Cartoon Network's nighttime block, Adult Swim, posted a tweet gauging interest in the episode being aired publicly. The response was overwhelming, and on January 22nd, 2013, the episode was officially released online. Mario 64 2: Bowser's Revenge. With Super Mario 64 being a smash success as the console's launch title, it's no surprise that considerations for a sequel began shortly thereafter. Of course, these plans were eventually abandoned, with the next installment instead culminating in Super Mario Sunshine for the GameCube. However, many were curious as to if a direct sequel to the game had begun production before Sunshine was conceived. In particular, the sequel was believed to be a scrapped project from the shortly lived Nintendo 64 disk drive. Prior to its discovery, there were speculations as to what the scope of the project was, as well as how much of it had been completed. Sources claiming to have been close to the project stated that it was in fact intended to be a sequel,
He's so
seemingly confirming
lucky.
suspicions.
so
However, these statements
lucky.
would be contradicted when a copy of the project was found at a thrift store in Japan. Disappointingly, it seems that the project was never intended to be a sequel, instead serving as simply a tech demo to demonstrate the hardware's potential. Unreleased songs by Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson's massive catalog of unreleased music has been long sought after due to his talent and legacy. The majority of these remain entirely unknown to the public, with hundreds said to be sitting on the late musician's hard drives. Given the broad definition of unreleased music, which can range from fully mastered tracks to one-off demos, it's unlikely his entire catalog will ever be leaked. Though it's clear that Sony is handpicking the ones they feel could still hold up. Food Fight, the original version. Released in 2012, Food Fight is infamous for being one of the worst animated films of all time. Spending over a decade in development hell, the film had an estimated budget of $45 to $65 million. So, what happened? Well, in 2002, development was abruptly stopped when hard drives containing all the film's progress were supposedly stolen, forcing the film to be entirely remade from scratch. The original film was apparently over halfway complete, meaning that if the hard drives hadn't been stolen, it would have looked passable and have been released nearly a decade earlier. However, no suspect has ever been named publicly, with not even a hint of who the culprit could have been. With no leads as to where the hard drives could be, it's unlikely the original film will ever resurface. Toy Story: The Black Friday Reel. Pixar's first feature-length film, Toy Story, arguably popularized the trend of computer animation we see today. However, when Pixar first began developing the project, they had an entirely different audience in mind. These storyboards, from when the film was still intended for adults, are from what is now known as the Black Friday cut, aptly named for its far darker tone than the original. This version of the script had apparently been fully scripted and storyboarded, until Disney executives began reviewing their progress and threatened to cancel the film. So far, only a 2-minute sample of this cut has been released, known as the Black Friday Reel. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Phantom Blood. Though many are familiar with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure's later adaptations, many are unaware of the series' 2007 film, Phantom Blood, which had been produced to commemorate the anniversary of the creator's career. This is because after its limited Japanese run in 2007, the film never aired again. While the exact reason has never been specified, a multitude of issues have been cited as the explanation, ranging from the film's poor reception to general licensing issues. Johnny Quasar. In 1995, DNA Productions debuted a 40-second-long demo featuring an incarnation of the character Jimmy Neutron. Instead, his name was Johnny Quasar.
I think I got a big-ass
demo was impressive enough to not only win 2 awards at the conference, but catch the eye of a producer who'd eventually fund the pilot that was pitched to Nickelodeon. Despite contact being made with both creators of Jimmy Neutron, as well as those who attended the conference, the demo wouldn't surface until 2017, when Johnny Quasar's voice actor uploaded the footage himself to his YouTube channel. Kablam! Final episode. Nickelodeon's Kablam is rather obscure in the grand scheme of things, but unavoidable in the lost media community due to how elusive it seems to be. The show avoided receiving any home media releases, was rarely rebroadcasted, and may never be re-released officially due to licensing issues.
I remember
the most elusive part of the show, however, was its series finale, Just Chillin'. Due to the show's obscurity and poor documentation, even finding evidence of its existence was difficult, until the episode re-uploaded in 2016. This was because the show's creator, Mark Merrick, eventually confirmed its existence, and announced that he'd be posting them in full to his website. Cleopatra. Cleopatra is a 1917 silent film starring Theda Bara. Considered one of the actress's most daring roles, it became infamous at the time for posing in risque, nearly nude outfits. The film was eventually targeted by church organizations, who began attempting to obtain all copies of the film to destroy it for obscenity. Though historians attempted to save as many copies as they could, the last known copies of the film were said to have been destroyed in a studio vault fire in the 1930s, making it one of the holy grails of vintage film. El Apostol. Released in 1917, El Apostol is considered the world's first feature animated film. Produced in Argentina, the film consists of a total of 58,000 frames, resulting in a runtime of 70 minutes. The film was a satirical take on the then Argentine president. It was well received by critics at the time, and was a commercial success. Sadly, however, the only known copy was destroyed when its producer's film studio burned down. Crack Master. Crack Master, or Cracks, is a short from Sesame Street about a young girl making friends with the cracks on her walls, who would form into animals and such. The search began in 2008, when a man named John Armin posted online about his memories of the shorts, and how it haunted him, similar to the search for Clockman. I also have a mini documentary about this search, and it's quite bizarre how it all resolves. Doctor Who. Nearly 100 episodes of the beloved science fiction show Doctor Who are currently missing. This is due to the BBC having a habit of reusing tapes for new episodes, scrubbing the previous footage from existence. By the 1970s, home media became popular, and the BBC began searching for these episodes, through television stations and private collectors. Although a good amount was recovered, Doctor Who remains one of the most famous cases
So
of
was
lost
she
media.
a crackhead? That's a good question. Oh no.
Mickey Mouse in Vietnam. Mickey Mouse in Vietnam is an unauthorized animated short film created in 1968. With a runtime of only 1 minute, it was made in protest of the Vietnam War as part of the underground comics movement. It depicts Mickey Mouse being joyfully recruited for the Vietnam War, before being shot in the head. It was shown around various short film festivals at the time, winning several awards, before never being seen by the public again. The film was thought to be lost for decades, though every so often a private copy would re-emerge at film festivals. It wouldn't be fully released to the public, however, until a student recovered a version of the film from a scrap bin of his college. The film's official title has since been discovered to be Short Subject.
Yo!
Drake and Josh pilots. Nickelodeon's Drake and Josh is one of the most beloved kids-oriented sitcoms of all time. Though the first episode is considered by fans as the pilot, the actual pilot was produced in 2001, before Nickelodeon had greenlit the show.
No way, there's 2 different Drake and Josh pilots? I've never seen it. It's a different dad. That is not their dad. Yo, I've never seen this.
Episode is considered by fans as the pilot. The actual pilot was produced in 2001, before Nickelodeon had greenlit the show. At one point, the entire pilot was uploaded to YouTube by show creator Dan Schneider himself, though for unknown reasons, he eventually privated the video. Over the years, mirrors of the pilot have resurfaced online, though they have consistently been taken down by Nickelodeon and Viacom, providing a possible explanation as to why Schneider had to private his upload. Empress Chung. Empress Chung is a 2005 animated feature film, developed as a personal project by the film's director, Nelson Shin. Spending over a decade in just pre-production, the film was notable for having been produced and released simultaneously in both North and South Korea. With a $6.5 million budget, the film was a financial failure in the United States, and to this day, has yet to see a home release. There has been speculation that a DVD release does exist in North Korea, though no evidence of this has materialized beyond word of mouth. The Backyardigans pilots. Before the Backyardigans was greenlit by Nickelodeon, the characters first appeared as a live-action pilot filmed at Nickelodeon Studios in the late 90s. Titled Me and My Friends, the characters are instead portrayed in full-body suits with minor visual differences. Not much else is known about the pilots, as the only known footage has a cumulative runtime of 3 seconds. Marilyn Manson's Groupie. With a long history of being a provocateur, it should be no surprise that when Marilyn Manson made his first step into filmmaking, he would produce something unsettling. Shot in one night, sometime between 1996 and 1998, Marilyn Manson's unreleased short film, Groupie, is said to have been so perverted and violent that his manager begged him to never release it, believing it could end Manson's career or even lead to his conviction. Filmed at an actual house party with unwitting guests, Manson tortures an actor he hired to play the role of a groupie to a crowd who have no reason to believe it's staged. It's said that at one point the groupie is tied up. Somehow Manson introduces a firearm, and a violent fight breaks out, causing bloodshed. Though Manson at one point teased a release of the film in 2016, for the most part, it seems that Groupie has been locked away forever, in fear of jeopardizing Manson's career. Sub on Moon. During the peak of Sailor Moon's popularity in the early 90s, Toei struggled to seal redistribution deals in the North American markets. As a result, they held a bidding war to determine who would deliver the franchise to America. One of these participants was Toon Makers, an animation and advertising company that worked primarily on feature films. Rather than producing a cost-effective English dub, they instead pitched a 17-minute-long pilot that only had half the episode featuring animation, replacing the other half with Power Rangers-esque live-action segments. This was rather unsurprisingly rejected.
What?
Though some animation cells and scenes
live
surfaced,
action?
the full pilot has yet to leak online. Sailor Mouth, the uncensored version. Sailor Mouth is an infamous episode of SpongeBob SquarePants.
Sailor Mouth is my favorite episode, or one of my favorites of SpongeBob. This man SpongeBob said to Patrick, "How fucking are you?" The sentence enhancers.
Due to it largely revolving around the main characters, swearing, albeit bleeped out with dolphin sounds. According to SpongeBob's voice actor, Tom Kenny, they were told to use substitute words, but the voice actors found it too difficult, so they actually cussed. These original recordings have yet to resurface, though are said to exist somewhere.
So they actually did curse? Bro, somebody gotta find those. Somebody gotta go into Nick's studios and find them shits. I wanna see SpongeBob say, "Krabs is I gotta hear Tom Kenny pop off.
Nickelodeon's archives. GTA 64. In E3 1999, a port of the original Grand Theft Auto for the N64 was debuted privately. Supposedly halfway completed at the time of the event, it would have had enhanced graphics and new levels, though for unknown reasons was quietly shelved. So far, only alleged screenshots have surfaced from the game, with no footage ever making it to the public, and no confirmation that these screenshots are anything but mock-ups. American Dog. Before Disney's film Bolt was Bolt, it was known as American Dog, and helmed by the director of Lilo and Stitch. However, director Chris Sanders and the executives at Disney had far different ideas of what the film should be. The original plot of the film was far more surreal than what it was reworked into, and when executives attempted to meddle with the concept, Sanders rejected their changes. Eventually, he was removed from the project altogether, causing him to leave Disney for DreamWorks instead. Very few production materials from this period of the film have been released online, likely due to contractual agreements. Newt. Originally intended to be released in the summer of 2011, not much is actually known about Pixar's Newt. The plot synopsis is said to have been similar to the film Rio, which was released after this film was cancelled. According to Pixar's president, Edwin Campbell, he stated that the idea was scrapped during pre-production, eventually being replaced with Inside Out. It's unknown how much of the film was completed before cancellation, though concept art and supposed music from the film have surfaced online. Kurt Cobain's Ren and Stimpy. Before Kurt Cobain found success with his band Nirvana, he supposedly attempted to write a theme song for the series, Ren and Stimpy. According to Stimpy's voice actor, Billy West, Kurt visited Spumco Animation headquarters to perform a song he'd written about the show.
Let you stay there. One day the scraggly kid comes in and said he wanted to write a song for Ren and Stimpy, and they said, "Yeah, that's great," and they threw it in the wastebasket. It was Kurt Cobain.
Oh, shit.
There is no evidence of this event ever occurring, and it's possible that the voice actor just made it up as a joke. However, some speculate that a demo of this song may exist somewhere in his archives. Astrology with Squidward. These were a series of little-known shorts that Nickelodeon would air sometime in the early 2000s, showing Squidward explaining some of the different zodiac signs: Cancer, Taurus, Gemini, Pisces, Sagittarius, and Leo. This is a unique piece of lost media because it was rumored that the other zodiac signs also had their own shorts, but they were lost. However, we now know that they never actually existed. Sesame Street, 847. This is a long-lost episode of Sesame Street that is notable for being apparently frightening to young viewers. It featured Margaret Hamilton reprising her role as the Wicked Witch of the West, losing her broom in Sesame Street. She then tries to find it, resulting in all sorts of shenanigans. Though there are a few images online, the full episode was only aired once, and has never been officially released. Sesame Workshop also does not plan on including it in their big archive for the AAPB. Yeah Yeah Beavis 1. From June 1989 to September 1990, a strange game known as Yeah Yeah Beavis 1 has been seen in multiple gaming magazines. No one knows what this game truly is, as it was never released. Though there are multiple theories, a game called Yeah Yeah Beavis 1 doesn't seem to exist as of now.
Oh no.
The suicide of Christine Chubbuck. Christine Chubbuck was an American television news reporter who, in 1974, tragically ended her own life. After years of struggling with depression, confounded by a recent operation that hindered her chances of having a child, she brought a revolver to her workplace and committed suicide on live television. Recordings of this incident do exist, being in the possession of the station's owner, Robert Nelson.
What?
In 2016, it was given to a large law firm to ensure that it was never lost. However, it's been made clear that there are no plans for the footage to ever be made publicly available. The Basement Tapes. In 1999, two students from Columbine High School carried out one of the deadliest school shootings in history. Prior to the events, the two recorded a series of videos that contained disturbing material, such as their motives and a kill list.
What?
These recordings, dubbed the basement tapes, were later recovered by Jefferson County and destroyed in subsequent years. There is an hour-long video of the basement tapes on YouTube, but according to the family members of the victims, the total runtime of all the footage is around 3 to 4 hours. The rest is likely gone for good.
Bro, what is that zoom in?
The death of Steve Irwin. Steve Irwin, nicknamed the Crocodile.
Yo, I remember the death of Steve Irwin like it was yesterday, bro. When this man died, this shit broke all news outlets like crazy, man. That was a sad fucking day, bro. Like, I remember as a kid when I heard he died, I was like, what? And I remember I watched his movie when it came out in theaters. He had a freaking movie. And I watched it as a kid in the theaters, man. Rest in peace to Steve Irwin.
Crocodile Hunter was a popular wildlife expert and television personality. On September 4th, 2006, while filming a documentary in Great Barrier Reef, Irwin was attacked by a stingray. The attack would tragically prove to be fatal, as Irwin succumbed to the multiple injuries to his chest. Prior to filming, Irwin instructed his team to never stop recording, even if the situation became dire. As a result, the entire aftermath, including his actual moment of death, were captured on film. This footage was first given to authorities, before it was returned to Irwin's family. All copies of the footage are said to have been destroyed, including his final words, "I'm dying." The death of Owen Hart. Owen Hart was a professional wrestler who...
That's why I don't fuck with stingrays anymore. Every time I see a stingray, there's a part of me inside my head that I'm like, you motherfuckers took Steve Irwin away from us, man. Fuck stingrays.
Was regarded as one of the World Wrestling Foundation's best in-ring performers of all time. On May 23rd, at over...
That's why when I see Big Man in Splatoon, why you think I never pick his team? Let's continue.
The Edge 1999, Hart accidentally triggered an early release of his harness, causing him to drop 78 feet. Though fans didn't know it at the time, they had just witnessed a man fall to his death. Footage of the incident does exist within the WWE archives, though it's unlikely they'll be released out of respect to Hart and his family. While the event was televised, a pre-recorded promotional video was played during the incident, ruling out any possibility of an at-home viewer owning a recording. So far, only audio recordings and photographs have made it to the public. Audio of Timothy Treadwell. Timothy Treadwell, also known as the Grizzly Man, was a bear enthusiast who was mauled to death while camping with his girlfriend at a national park. While it's unknown how the incident started, the couple were found dead, with the attack recorded on their video camera. Because the camera's lens cap was still on, only audio of the incident exists. According to an Alaskan state trooper, the tape began and ended when he was being mauled. In a documentary about Treadwell's life, the director films himself listening to the tape after being given access to it by one of Treadwell's ex-girlfriends. Disturbed, he tells her she should destroy it, though she instead chose to store it in a deposit box. Though copies are known to exist, it's unlikely that the audio will ever be released to the public. Dross vs. Dilo Brown. In a 1999 wrestling match between Dross and Dilo Brown for WWF SmackDown, Brown accidentally executed a powerbomb finisher incorrectly, fracturing Dross's neck vertebrae. Although Dross was rushed to the hospital and thankfully survived, the injury left him as a permanent quadriplegic, ending his wrestling career forever. The men reconciled days after the incident, remaining friends. They both agreed, however, that the footage should never see the light of day, and it was placed forever in the WWE vaults. The footage of Armin Maiwes. In 2001, Bernd Brandes visited Armin Maiwes after the two had met on a fantasy cannibalism forum. Maiwes had a fetish for cannibalism, while Brandes had a fetish for being devoured. Upon meeting, Brandes was consensually murdered, as Maiwes filmed himself dismembering Brandes' body, desecrating it before
consensually murdered? And he ate her?
Maiwes had a fetish for cannibalism, while Brandes had a fetish for being devoured. Upon meeting, Brandes was consensually murdered, as Maiwes filmed himself dismembering Brandes' body, desecrating it before eating it.
What?
The tapes were long sought after by gore websites, causing it to be held onto tightly by German authorities. 4 alleged screenshots have surfaced online, though their validity has never been proven. Given their disturbing nature, with journalists who viewed the tape during trial needing therapy, it's unlikely the tapes will ever be released. The audio of Isao Sagawa. Isao Sagawa is a convicted Japanese cannibal who, while studying abroad in France, filmed himself murdering his classmate before cooking her remains. Due to a variety of international legal issues, Sagawa is actually free to this day, becoming a surprise celebrity in Japanese pop culture.
He's a celebrity in Japanese culture? Huh?
Recording of the incident, said to include the actual murder and stagings with the corpse, was confiscated by French authorities and will likely never be released. The audio of the Moors murderers. Serial killer couple Ian Brady and Myra Hindley committed a series of acts that have since been titled The Moors Murders. In order to reminisce of the crimes, which included torturing prepubescent children, they maintained audio recordings of many of their victims. For obvious reasons, they will likely never see the light of day. The sex tape of Mickey Mouse. In 1936, during
Mickey Mouse got a sex tape? Who was he fucking?
Walt Disney's birthday party, 2 animators created a gag animation in which Mickey and Minnie Mouse were having sex.
Mickey and Minnie got a sex tape? I didn't know they were like that. Damn. Motherfucker was hitting her with the... Oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. I'm about to hit you with this mystery mouse, the tool.
Upon its presentation, Watt feigned laughter, asking for the two responsible for its
Motherfucker hit her with the Mishka Mushka Mickey Mouse
to come forward. He then fired them and had all copies of Tation's birthday party. It will likely never see the light of day. The sex tape of Mickey Mouse. In 1936, during Walt Disney's birthday party, two animators created a gag animation in which Mickey and Minnie Mouse were having sex. Upon its presentation, Watt feigned laughter, asking
the unspoken only fans.
Yo, 100% Lily. Thank you for the 100 biddies. I'm gonna keep it a stack though, Lily. I gotta see that Mickey Mouse tape. A part of me wants to see that tape. Tell me not, chat. A part of me wants to see that Mickey Mouse tape. I want to hear it's the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Oh, Mickey! Oh boy, oh boy!
Asking for the two responsible for it to come forward. He then fired them and had all copies of the animation destroyed. It's unknown how...
Yeah, the animation was destroyed? No. Nah, bro, what the hell you sending me, bro? No. What the hell you sending me? You probably sent me something stupid. What the hell is this? You sent me just a link with no context.
Peter, creating art takes a lot of training and technique. All the great artists I knew took classes. Even Walt Disney?
Do I?
You're terrible.
Technique. All the great artists I knew took classes. Even Walt Disney?
Do I have to?
You want to be a star, don't you? Then take it off! Yeah, that's nice.
Oh, God, oh, no.
I'll be as irresistible.
True the story is, originating from an already dubious biographical account of the animator's life, but due to its obscurity, it's unlikely any copies would have survived to this day. The death of Brandon Lee. During the filming of his first and final lead role, Brandon Lee was tragically shot and killed during the accidental misfiring of a gun loaded with blank cartridges. The incident was caught on camera, though the director claims to have insisted it was destroyed. Several cameramen from the production have gone on to state that copies of the incident still do exist, though no tangible proof of this have ever reached the public. Goodbye, Innocence. La Rosa de Guadalupe is a Mexican television program centered around promoting Catholicism.
Bro. Mexicans love this fucking show. Mexicans fucking love La Rosa de Guadalupe. They live through this shit low-key. Low-key, bro. Every day I be going to that house. If there's a woman in that house, all I hear is, how does it go? You know that one part of the Rosa de Guadalupe, whenever they come to like the recognition of like they learn the lesson of the episode, that random ass wind blows and it'd be like, ah, and then they see the fucking rose pop up. Oh my goodness, dude.
Many of the episodes are based upon real incidents, retold with religious imagery. The most controversial of these was an episode centered around a series of gang rapes that occurred in July of 2012.
Huh?
During the incident, a religious group of approximately 90 people were attacked by armed gang members while camping in El Colibri. Among the assaults and theft, 12 underage girls were molested. Only 1 month later, an episode based upon the incidents was produced, titled Goodbye Innocence. Parents and victims of the attack protested its premiere, successfully convincing the channel to drop the episode.
Damn.
That is until they wound up airing it anyways a year later. After the second backlash, they have since never rebroadcast it, with no copies of the episode surfacing online aside from a handful of stills. Super Hornio Bros. Super Hornio Bros is a pornographic parody of the
That guy's a porn star. Super Hornio Bros?
Super Mario Bros. Series from 1993, starring Ron Jeremy as Super Hornio. Shortly after its release, the film's distribution rights were bought by Nintendo themselves. As a result, its existence.
That song in La Rosa de Guadalupe is so stuck in my head because my mom kept on watching the show.
Yeah, and then it's like randomly when they like throughout the episode they'd be like,
Mi hijo, necesita irte para la escuela porque en la escuela tú vas a aprender todo que necesita aprender. Oh!
Never trust a man with two first names.
Okay, Oddity. Thank you for the biddies. But yes, BHRA, that's how the Rosa de Guadalupe be hitting.
Existence was buried, only being known as an urban legend until it was recounted on the Something Awful forums. It seems that the film did get a small limited release before being purchased by Nintendo.
Nah.
So it's very possible
I'm not trying to get DMCA'd by Rosa de Guadalupe.
It could still surface online somehow. So far though, only its sequel has been found. Cannibal Holocaust deleted scenes. With the 1980 film Cannibal Holocaust already being infamous for its disturbing imagery, it's no surprise that any scene cut from it would share a similar effect. This was the case with the lost piranha scene, in which a warrior of the Yanomamo tribe is lowered into piranha-infested waters to have his leg amputated. Filming for the scene was never completed, due to the piranhas being difficult to control, though stills confirm that some takes do exist. The whereabouts of these scenes are unknown. Ricardo Lopez's video diary. Ricardo Lopez, also known as the Bjork Stalker, is a man who filmed the last weeks of his life leading up to his eventual suicide. The tapes center around his plot to create an acid bomb to disfigure a pop star, angered that she begun dating someone he disapproved of. With over 20 hours of footage, captured on tape included his manufacturing of the bomb, as well as his suicide. The tapes were discovered by authorities after Lopez's body was reported, causing the bomb to be intercepted, and the singer thankfully unharmed. For years, the full video diary was only available in the form of an abridged 70-minute documentary, though the full tapes are easily accessible online. Original Jeff the Killer image.
Oh my god, bro. Like, you gotta give me a warning before you start throwing smile JPEG at me, you motherfucker, man.
The infamous story of Jeff the Killer is one of the most well-known creepypastas of all time. However, its accompanying image...
You might as well put a bonga in that bitch, too. Where's a bonga?
remains a mystery. No one is certain where the original unedited photo is, or what it looks like. It was believed to have been a photo of a girl named Katie Robinson, who posted an image of herself on 4chan sometime in early 2008. However, no evidence of this woman's existence can be found online, and the Jeff the Killer image can be seen even before 2008. As of now, the most widely accepted theory is that the original image is of a cam girl from Stickcam, but no one can find it.
Uh-oh, we in the creepy zone.
The Beatles, Carnival of Light. Carnival of Light is an unreleased Beatles song, known for being pretty long, at 14 minutes, and pretty experimental or avant-garde. The song was produced for a 2-day festival known as the Million Volt Light and Sound Race. Other than those 2 days, the track has never been played to the public. Paul McCartney has stated that he still has the song in his possession, and that he wants to release it, but that would require the approval of the other members or their estates. Cameraheads. Cameraheads is a lost creepypasta.
I don't get it. What's up with Carnival of Lights? Nero, you heard that song, Carnival of Lights? What's wrong with it? Is it just like an unreleased song? Like, what, is there like some hidden meaning behind it? Why is the song 14 minutes? One song, 14 minutes? Because Beatles were cooking something. The Rolling Stones were better than the Beatles. I'm not gonna lie, I've never really listened to Rolling Stones or Beatles songs. But I remember when the Beatles came out, everybody said those motherfuckers was revolutionary. Like they changed music forever. Like, I don't know. Not unusual for songs at the time.
Has never been played to the public. Paul McCartney has stated that he still has the song in his possession, and that he wants to release it, but that would require the approval of the other members or their estates. Cameraheads. Cameraheads is a lost creepypasta that was posted on 4chan in 2008, supposedly predating other popular creepypastas like Jeff the Killer or Slenderman. The story is about a man who discovers a backpack with a broken camera, a videotape, and a note that says, "I killed a camerahead" inside. He begins to research what the cameraheads are before being stalked by one himself. It had your early creepypastas and ARG cliches, and a few online screenshots confirms its existence. Sadly, it's still lost, but a video has resurfaced in recent times. Shikara to Ona no Yo-Yo Naka. I probably mispronounced that horribly. This film is said to be the first Japanese anime to feature voice actors. It was released in 1933 by Kenzo Masaoka and features a man who cheated on his abusive wife. Despite the film's significance, no prints are said to be available, and it is a lost film. Dingo Pictures. Dingo Pictures is a notoriously bad animation company, known for ripping off other studios like Disney and Pixar. Their films were really low budget and made for a quick buck honestly, but they have gained somewhat of a cult following nowadays. Surprisingly, most of their films are found, with the only exception being Sing Meets Aladdin, but even that one is only partially lost. Batman Fights Dracula. Considered one of the most sought-after Asian films of all time, Batman Fights Dracula is noteworthy for having very little known about it, besides the standard stuff like the crew and cast. It was released in 1967, and features a mad scientist, who, after being thwarted by the Cape Crusader time and time again, decides to resurrect Dracula to fight Batman for revenge. Super Smash Bros. Slamfest 99. Back in 1999, Nintendo held an event called Slamfest 99, which showcased Mario, Yoshi, Pikachu, and Donkey Kong battling in a boxing ring. Although many photos were salvaged thanks to the Wayback Machine, no footage of the event currently exists. Banjo 3. At the end of
Banjo 3E. You guys don't know how many times I mentioned this when it comes to BanjoKazooie. I'm always like, yo, where's Banjo 3E? This is because at the end of the game, Grunty says, "You'll be seeing me in Banjo 3E." And I used to actually think Banjo 3E was going to come out, and we never got it.
Banjo 2E, Gruntilda hints at a sequel game known as Banjo 3E. It is believed that this game would have been for the GameCube, Xbox, and Xbox 360. and a tech demo of Space World 2000 called Banjo 3 exists. Sadly, the game never went far into development, and was scrapped and replaced with BanjoKazooie Nuts and Bolts. Aaron Ralston's video diary. On April 26, 2003, Aaron Ralston, a mountaineer, was climbing down Blue Jaw Canyon in Utah. During this event, the boulder that he was using to support his weight dislodged and crushed his wrist against the canyon wall. For the next couple of days, he would record a series of videos for his friends and family.
Didn't they make a movie? Oh, it's the movie. Yeah, didn't James Franco, or was it him? James Franco made a movie off this shit.
Under the assumption that he was going to die. Fortunately, he survived, but only after going to extreme lengths to survive, such as amputating his own arm. His story was the inspiration for the film 127 Hours. It is mostly lost. Aaron has stated that he would like the videos to remain private, as they were creepy.
This new SpongeBob episode is creepy. You're gonna have to wait till I finish this before I watch that. How long is that shit? How long is this that you sent me? Wash your hands. Chat, should I kill Clus? Should I kill Clus, chat? should I kill Clus, chat? Oh my god, get this motherfucker out of here, man.
Made for his loved ones, and he wants to keep it that way. Despite this, a few snippets have made their way online. Tatu Paragate. Tatu is a Russian pop duo from the late 90s and early 2000s, and this would have been
look like Naruto. Okay.
An animated film starring the two singers. Very few promo images were ever released, and the film was eventually scrapped after the duo broke their contract with their manager, stating that he was too focused on creating scandals and fetishizing them. Unfortunately, he apparently had a lot to do with the movie, and it's unlikely it'll ever be produced now. Chris Farley's Shrek audio. I think most people know about this now, but Chris Farley, famed comedian
damn,
from
you
SNL,
killed Kless? Nah, bring him back. Bring him back, bring him
he
back.
Passed away from a drug overdose while he was still working on the film. It's said that 80 to 90% of Shrek's audio was recorded by Farley, and although the producers considered hiring a voice impersonator to finish the film, it was ultimately decided to pass the role to Mike Myers, fellow SNL member. Very little of Farley's take on the character was released, giving fans a small peek into an early version of their favorite Green Ogre. However, it's very unlikely that the rest will be released. Kingdom of the Sun. This was a very early version of what would become the Emperor's New Groove, before being drastically redesigned. Besides a few characters, everything else was pretty different, and even the plot was a bit darker.
Oh, the Emperor's New Groove was fire. That's where the, hey man, nice cock. Hey Cusco, nice cock. Yo, the Emperor's New Groove.
You can read about it online, it's kind of a lot, and it's an interesting little Disney rabbit hole. But given that the Emperor's New Groove does exist, it's highly unlikely that this version will ever be made. Previous versions of Minecraft. There are quite a few early beta versions of Minecraft that were made before the game really became popular. Unfortunately, many of these are lost due to time, and just the game naturally progressing and updating, but you can find some extremely early versions of the game on the Lost Media Wiki. GTA 3 for the Game Boy Advance. A version of Grand Theft Auto 3 was supposed to be made for the Game Boy Advance, developed by Crawfish Studios. However, the company was unfortunately shut down, and a lot of the staff were laid off, causing the game to be unfinished and eventually lost. Pokemon Crystal DLC. Pokemon Crystal had some downloadable content that was only accessible using the Mobile Adapter GB, an accessory for the Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance. It was only ever released in Japan, though the data for this still exists in international versions. Some of the DLC included items such as the GS Ball and Mirage Mail, as well as some minigames.
I'm so mad. The GS Ball. That's how the motherfuckers got the GS Ball. Gotta give it to Kurt, go to the forest, and get Celebi.
Dumbo 2. A sequel for Disney's hit film, Dumbo, was planned to be released, but it never came to fruition for whatever reason. Only some storyboards and a vague plot description exist. The film would have featured the main cast getting lost in New York, and Dumbo's father would have made an appearance. Sonic DS. At E3, 2004, Sega unveiled a tech demo called Sonic DS. The demo showed Sonic running through a level, with the player being able to control Sonic's speed with the DS stylus.
Yo!
It's unknown if this was meant to be developed into a full game, as nothing ever really came out of it.
Look, fire!
Chicken Little 2. A sequel was planned for the Disney film Chicken Little, but never made it that far into development. The plot involved Chicken Little finding himself in a love triangle between the ugly duckling Abby and a new character named Rafaela. The film was never made, possibly due to Chicken Little receiving mixed reviews, and only storyboards currently exist. Betty Boop and Popeye's sex tape. Recounted in an article by
Betty Boop and Popeye's sex tape?
I got to the finish cause I eats me spinach.
Motherfucker said, damn!
Animation historian Jim Hill.
Whoa!
The story goes that Max Fleischer, the creator of both characters, surprised animators at a celebration party for their new studio with an animation. This animation was a fully animated short of Betty Boop and Popeye having sex, complete with backgrounds, voice actors, a musical score, and stylized Florida landscaping. It was then said to have been locked away forever in a vault. To this day, no evidence of the short's existence has surfaced. Superman 1933. The link cites Superman's debut in the first issue in Action
Play
Comics.
this with the
He had
image
actually appeared
Cliff sent you.
Next. Oh no.
Hey, Quincy, how's my favorite money man?
SpongeBob.
Thank you, Tainted. Thank you, Kless.
In two separate short stories prior. The first was a comic titled The Reign of Superman, in which the character debuted as a villain. In 1933, however, the creators began first toying with the idea of making him a hero. However, shortly after completing the comic, they were dropped by the publishing company. Unable to catch the eye of other publications, in a fit of rage, the comic was burned out of shame, with only the cover surviving. It's unknown if any copies of the full issue exist today. Many comic historians have tried to secure copies of the short story, but to no success. A Death in the Family, alternate version. In 1988, DC Comics infamously published a series of comics in which the Joker successfully kills Jason Todd, Batman's second Robin. At the end of an issue in the series, A Death in the Family, a call line was included for fans to vote on whether or not Robin should survive. This implies that some alternate issue may have existed, and the off chance fans voted for Robin to live. Evidence of the alternate Jason Lives issue does exist, with one page having been completed and the other sketched. Rotochan, 1999. On November 24th, 2013, a 14-year-old Japanese live streamer named Rotochan, 1999, committed suicide after jumping off her 13th floor apartment balcony. It was said to have been instigated by chats, telling her she would fulfill her dreams of becoming a legend if she did so. The entire incident was streamed and archived, though it was briefly lost, until revitalized interest led to the footage being re-uploaded. The Shining, deleted scenes. Considered by some as one of the greatest films of all time, it's no surprise the film has deleted scenes.
I'm not gonna lie, The Shining is a dope film, but man, that film is so trippy.
Unlike most deleted scenes, however, one of them actually made it to the premiere. At the end of the film, there was originally an epilogue in which Danny and Wendy are recovering from the assaults. After premiering in Los Angeles and New York, Kubrick ordered for the scenes to be cut. Apart from the script and a handful of Polaroid photos, the scene remains lost to the public. The Mask 2. Given that The Mask was a box office success, spawning several tie-in series,
Yo, shout out to Jim Carrey, The Mask. Smoking!
Comic books and other spin-offs, it's unsurprising that talks of a sequel began. Even being advertised in a contest in Nintendo Power, The Mask 2 was on track to being greenlit until Jim Carrey turned the role down. Even after being offered $10 million, he noted that he disliked playing the same character twice. This led to whatever was completed for the sequel to be scrapped.
He hates playing the same character twice. Didn't they say... Didn't he say that that's why he wouldn't get into the new... remember the Eggman Sonic 2? Then he said that might be his last film. He doesn't like to play the same character twice, yet he played Robotnik in the Sonic movie. They must have paid him a lot. Cause think about it. Sometimes, like, bro, if at this time they try to pay him 10 mil and he turned it down in the Sonic movie, they must have had a fucking boatload of cash on him. Like, yo, come on, please play Dr. Robotnik for the second film. We'll give you more money. Jim is committed to Sonic. No one else could have been Eggman but him. I'd rather perish than choke and gaggle like you. Wait, what the hell's happening? Why y'all fighting in the chat? Stop it. Robotnik only appearing in one movie would be lame, true. Yo, you know what I wish? A part of me in my soul wishes to see Jim Carrey as the Grinch again. But that's one of my favorite performances of Jim Carrey. The Grinch, goated.
PlayStation All-Stars DLC. PlayStation All-Stars is...
Fuck PlayStation All-Stars. I could easily say that's the Sony biggest L. I hated this game.
Essentially the Super Smash Bros. Equivalent for the PlayStation. Unfortunately, all DLC, or downloadable content, characters for the game were cancelled mid-production during 2013, including several highly requested characters, including Darts from The Legend of Dragoon. Despite social media campaigns for the material to be released, none of the characters saw the light of day, with most never even being officially announced. Heartbeat in the Brain. In 1978, a documentary known as Heartbeat in the Brain screened at the Sudam Gallery in New York. The film, directed by Amanda Felding, showed Felding herself drilling a hole in her head using a dentist's drill. Supposedly, at least one audience member fainted while watching it. Although the film was screened again in 2011, it has never surfaced online, aside from a few clips.
Oh, now we in the creepy zone,
The
chat.
lost Apollo 11 footage. The Apollo 11...
Let me not say nothing. I'm gonna stay quiet for chat. I'm gonna stay quiet. Let me eat my Sour Patch Kids. Let me stay quiet.
landing, in which astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin stepped foot on the moon, has become known as one of the most monumental moments in human history. However, although the footage of the actual touchdown has been preserved, the full original SSTV tapes of the events have mysteriously been lost by NASA.
Okay, buddy.
Shut your mouth for the love of God.
No. No. All the tapes have gone missing? Just play, Retro. Retro, just play. But you need to talk your shit. I can't, cause chat. Talk your shit. Just press play. Talk your shit. Just pray.
This was due to an apparent issue converting signals from the cameras, as they were incompatible with broadcasting standards. As a result, it seems that the uncut footage has genuinely been lost forever, with NASA themselves speculating that they were likely wiped for reuse shortly after the broadcast, and are thus unrecoverable. Rugrats Storyboard Jam. During downtime on the production of Rugrats, storyboard artists on Nickelodeon began venting their frustrations by collaborating on a grotesque, darkly humored comic featuring the show's characters. This included references to incest, molestation, and murder. The storyboard jam was eventually confiscated by an executive producer, who was, quote, disturbed. It's unknown if the comic was destroyed or simply locked away, though one page has resurfaced online from a participant. Dracula, 1931. In original screenings of 1931's
So you
Dracula,
mean to tell
an
me
epilogue
that
by
NASA
Edward
spontaneously lost all the tapes of the moon landing? Thanks NASA, you made me side with Retro.
Just press play.
Van Sloan was included, of the actor directly speaking to the audience. The epilogue was eventually cut when it was reissued in 1936 to avoid controversy from religious groups. Though some footage and audio have surfaced throughout various behind-the-scenes documentaries, the full epilogue has escaped release. The Land Before Time uncensored version. Don Bluth's The Land Before Time was heavily censored before release, with many of these scenes cut without the director's wishes. 13 minutes of complete animation in total were cut from the film, largely to secure the film's PG rating. This included several extended chase and fight scenes, as well as an entirely alternate ending for the film. The footage and production materials exist, though they're unable to be released without the express permission of a rights holder. El Hombre Lobo. I think the Iceberg image is referring to Knights of the Werewolf,
The
a supposed
Wolfman.
1968 horror film. It was said to have been filmed in Paris before the director died in a car crash the week after its completion. The issue is that this supposed director may not have existed. No record for the name René Govar has been found, and all details relating to Knights of the Werewolf originate from one man, named Paul Naschy. It's speculated he may have invented the film to boost his early resume. However, one supposed still has surfaced, though it's possible Naschy could have faked it to boost his credibility. South Park, episode 200 and 201, uncensored. In South Park's controversial 200th and 201st episodes, they tackled the issue of broadcast censorship head-on, alluding to the Prophet Muhammad after facing previous backlash for depicting him. The episodes were heavily censored before airing, and have been denied re-release on streaming services. One of these included an ending monologue regarding the effectiveness of violence, which in the TV broadcast was entirely censored. Originally thought to be a meta joke, the original audio was leaked after a hacker downloaded the original file from the servers of South Park's websites. Conkers Bad Fur Day, the alternate version. Rare's Conkers Bad Fur Day, released in 1999, was notorious at the time for how raunchy and offensive its humor was. However, prior to
Who that? She look kind of good.
1999, the game was intended to be another family-friendly IP, known as 12 Tales, Conquer 64. After receiving criticism for making another kid-friendly 3D platformer, the game was redesigned for a mature audience. A prototype build of the original game has since surfaced, showcasing what the game was like before development shifted gears. Mean Girls DS. Developed by 505 Games, Mean Girls was a tie-in game for the 2004 comedy film of the same name. Intended for the Nintendo DS, it was scheduled for release in 2010, though for unknown reasons, never saw the light of day. The game was described in reviews as a Puzzle Quest ripoff, though the ESRB stated it was a text-based adventure game. Neither of these descriptions matched surface screenshots, however, which instead illustrated as a simple series of minigames. Though the studio is aware of interest in the game, they've been unable to provide further information for a variety of copyright reasons, and consequently the game has yet to resurface. Osama Bin Laden's body photos. Upon the raid that led to Osama Bin Laden's death, a series of photos documenting his body's condition were taken in Afghanistan before it was thrown into the ocean. Because the body itself was thrown into the ocean to prevent martyrdom, it's perhaps unsurprising the photos of his corpse have remained unpublished as well. Though some photos purport to be from the incident, these have all been debunked as fake. SpongeBob Invader Pants, Krabs' Army. During the 9th season of SpongeBob SquarePants, an episode with the segments SpongeBob Invader Pants and Krabs' Army canceled during production. It's unknown what these episodes entailed, though they apparently never made it past storyboards. An image has surfaced of the storyboards for SpongeBob Invader Pants, though they are largely unlegible. Life Sucks. Life Sucks is the title of the intended 7th episode of Ren and Stimpy's adult party cartoon. Considered by those who worked on the episode as the best Ren and Stimpy episode ever, it's centered around pessimistic and nihilistic philosophy.
Bro, they got a crucifixion?
The episode had been storyboarded, though due to low ratings, the entire show was cancelled, prematurely ending production. The full synopsis remains unseen, with only a few early storyboards surfacing online. The Death of Don Pancho. In 2010, SeaWorld trainer Don Pancho was tragically killed by the largest orca whale the zoo had. A perfectionist, she would always record her performances to help herself figure out how to improve. As a result, her graphic death was captured on camera, including when the whale refused to let go
killer
of her
whale
mutilated
killed
limbs.
her?
The incident was documented in the film Blackfish, which actually shows footage. However, it cuts right before her death.
Damn. Oh, we in the spook zone.
Pseudo Scorpion.
We've been in the spook
Scorpion
zone
is
for
a
an hour.
supposed album created by an artist named Zenjin. It's described as an album made using fragments of child pornography audio.
Oh, come on,
No
bro.
other information on Zenjin can be found online, and due to its disgusting
Cut
nature,
this shit,
it will
next
likely remain
one.
lost.
Cut
Him.
this shit.
Him is a 1974 gay pornographic film about a young gay man obsessed with Jesus Christ. According to what very little is written about the film online, the main character uses his obsession with Christ to understand the hidden meanings of the Gospels. The only remnants of this film are a few ads and reviews from newspapers. I'll mention in the book the Gold Turkey Awards, and a few online discussions here and there.
Ooh, maybe that's why that's a reference to the Powerpuff Girls.
Him.
Well, where are the Powerpuff Girls?
One of the film's actors was revealed to be Gustav von Will, who played Jesus. Unfortunately, Gustav passed away in January 1991. His IMDb page contains no other works besides him, The Butcher. In 2019, a post was made onto r/tip of my tongue about a supposed film that aired on Nickelodeon. The film was described as using real bones from animals, such as cats, dogs, and birds. Supposedly, the whole thing was in black and white, contained no dialogue, and used ambient music, which only added to the creepiness. In a follow-up post, the film, Butcher's Hook, is believed to be the long-lost shorts, though this hasn't been confirmed. Go for a Punch. This is the name given to a supposed anime on the deep web. The anime was first brought to attention by a user on 4chan. According to this user, the anime was about girls who were stuck in a large bathroom. After a few days, they started to commit suicide in brutal ways. The quality was apparently 80ish, and it was in subs. Though many people were interested in seeing this anime, there is no proof of its existence, and it's likely a hoax. The Rape of Wonder Woman. This was an unreleased comic book by...
Hey, I'm on Twitch. Terms of service. Next.
mentioned that DC were considering it, but ultimately dropped the idea. There's very little information about
DC was considering it?
He supposedly mentioned that DC were considering it, but ultimately dropped the idea. There's very little information about online, if it exists at all. Q source. According to Wikipedia, the Q source is a collection of hypothetical sayings from Jesus. Apparently, out of the 4 Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, Matthew and Luke have some overlapping writing that is not shared with the other Gospels. What's even more strange is that these overlaps are quotes from Jesus. The theory is that Matthew and Luke got these quotes from a different source, hence the Q source, which is of course lost. I'm not an expert in religious studies at all, so if anyone knows more about this, I'd love to read more in the comments. Medieval found footage. From what I could tell, this is basically just a conspiracy theory about time travel. The theory states that in the future, when time travel is possible, people will travel back to medieval times to capture the past. There's apparently videos, or at least one, on YouTube right now claiming to be from medieval times. And who knows if there's more out there. I guess they haven't happened yet? All lost media has always been on the internet. I guess this implies that pieces of lost media can exist online with no one knowing. Who's to say that him or the Apollo 11 tapes aren't already online, but under a different name or something? We'd never know.
I'm sorry, Cal. Wait, Tulip based? Oh no, I gotta kill that motherfucker. He won.
Alrighty, and that is the lost media iceberg. It was a lot, but it was fun to go over, and I sort of had a trip down memory lane talking about these things again. Right now,
damn, bro, we actually watched this whole thing. Great Iceberg. Show love to the Iceberg. Sheesh.